We really want to get to you guys' testimony. So with that being said, I ask that my statement be entered into the record. This is so important that we talk about our shipbuilding industrial base and getting holes in the water. So with that, I'm going to yield to my good friend, Ranking Member Courtney, for any statement he may have.
Sure. Thank you, Chairman Kelly. Actually, the crowd that's here speaks volumes more powerfully in some ways than any remarks that we can make. So, I mean, this is actually really special for us who have been working on these issues for the years to see the fact that, this topic now has become suddenly, a hot topic. So anyway, with that, I also will enter my statement for the record and thank the witnesses for being here.
I now recognize the chairman of the Coast Guard and Maritime Transportation Subcommittee, Mr. Ezell, from my home state of Mississippi, for any opening remarks he may have.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to submit my opening statement for the record.
Thank you, Mr. Ezell. I now recognize the Coast Guard and Maritime Transportation Subcommittee Ranking Member Mr. Carbajal, who is a close friend, for any opening remarks that he might have.
Thank you, Chairman Kelly. I, too, will submit my opening statement for the record, and I appreciate everybody who's here. I think there's a lot to discuss, so looking forward to it.
And all you people in the back, I suggest you read our statements. We put a lot of thought and time in this, but we want to hear from the people in the industry who matter. But our statements do matter, and it shows how passionate each of the four sitting up here are on that subject. With that, I now recognize our witnesses for any opening statements they would like to make. Their testimony has been submitted for the record, so we ask that you stick to 5 minutes for your remark. We have Mr. Jason Potter is performing the duties of Assistant Secretary of the Navy for Research, Development, and Acquisition. Mr. Potter, you are recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman Kelly, Ranking Member Courtney, Chairman Ezell, Ranking Member Carbajal, and distinguished members of the committees. Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today to report on the state of our nation's Navy shipbuilding enterprise. It's an honor to represent the Department of the Navy and the hundreds of thousands of dedicated service members and civilians who constitute our nation's naval strength. The United States Navy remains the world's preeminent naval force. The skill and dedication of our sailors and Marines are unmatched, and the capabilities of our warships are second to none. However, we must be candid about the challenges we face. We are operating in the most complex security environment in generations, an era of persistent competition where threats rapidly evolve and rivals test our resolve daily. Our adversaries are subsidizing shipbuilding and delivering hulls at an ever-increasing pace. Meanwhile, America's shipbuilding industrial base is contracted through a lack of strategic focus and investment, strangled by both poor corporate management and problematic government acquisition processes. The administration's Golden Fleet Initiative is the strategic approach to address these issues and deliver the fleet of the future. It consists of 3 tenets. First, maintain and enhance maritime dominance. We are expanding the ways the naval service will ensure victory over any enemy, anytime, and any place. The Navy is preparing to meet any foe up and down the spectrum of competition and conflict with a high-low mix of capabilities. That requires us to invest in current and new classes of combat ships and new capabilities such as unmanned systems, and to recapitalize our auxiliary fleet. Second, revitalize the industrial base. We're revitalizing shipyards across America with tens of billions of dollars in stable, predictable, long-term investments to get more ships in the water, bolstering high-skill, high-wage American jobs. We're improving production of established ship classes through distributed shipbuilding. By prioritizing auxiliary ships, we will both meet the needs of the fleet and regenerate capacity for commercially viable shipbuilding. Third, change how we do business. We are moving Navy shipbuilding from a compliance-based bureaucracy to an outcome-focused warfighting enterprise, restoring accountability, rewarding performance, and embracing advanced technology to deliver capability at speed by enforcing discipline, leveraging distributed production, and enabling stable, repeatable workload. This budget requests $65.8 billion in shipbuilding funding for 18 Battle Force ships and 16 non-Battle Force ships. As waters around the world become increasingly contested, it is imperative that the United States efficiently deliver the naval vessels it requires to enable maritime domain awareness and deterrence. The budget request enables the Golden Fleet Initiative, including initial funding for next-generation battleships and frigates, as well as increases the capacity of public shipyards and improves overall ship readiness. The budget will maintain or increase the procurement of most existing battle force platforms, including amphibious vessels and Columbia-class and Virginia-class submarines. The budget also begins the long overdue recapitalization of strategic sea lift vessels, hospital vessels, consolidated cargo replenishment tankers, submarine tenders, and other vessels vital for logistics. This administration is committed to building a more lethal and ready naval force, and the Secretary of the Navy is taking decisive action. We are supporting distributed shipbuilding efforts around the country and deploying innovative contract structures to better balance the downside risk and upside opportunity for the government. We're holding ourselves and our contractors accountable, canceling or restructuring programs that were not delivering, too expensive, or too slow. We're initiating programs that will better meet warfighting and operational requirements faster. We've implemented the Congress's direction for portfolio acquisition executives, including maritime and robotic and autonomous systems, to streamline acquisition and more rapidly deliver capability to the fleet. The challenges ahead are real, but so are the opportunities. This budget request sets us on a path to rebuild our industrial capacity, a long-term effort that requires a sustained whole-of-nation commitment. The Department of the Navy is fully committed to this mission. We ask for your continued support, including the stable, predictable authorities and funding that will deliver the fleet our nation needs. Thank you. I look forward to your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Potter. The Honorable Stephen Carmel is the Administrator of the U.S. Maritime Administration. Administrator Carmel, you are now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, Chairman Kelly, Ranking Member Courtney, Chairman Ezell, Ranking Member Carbajal, and members of the subcommittees. The challenges our maritime industry have are often reduced to one of cost, but that is a gross oversimplification. The United States does not simply have a maritime cost problem, we have a maritime capability problem, and that capability problem is a product of system design, but not one of strategic intent, but rather designed by neglect, reaction, repeat the process until now. For too long, we have treated maritime policy as the management of separate assets and separate programs, a ship here, a yard there, workforce initiative somewhere else. But maritime power does not work that way. It is not built from ships outward. It is built from cargo inward. The logic is simple. Cargo determines trade flows determine fleets, fleets determine shipbuilding. This is the identity that underpins all successful maritime systems. Any proposed program that starts with building ships, unless intended for pure government